Go. Okay, so today is our April network call, and today we're going to be leading you through some explorations. I'm going to let Rich talk about that in a moment, but I just wanted to extend a warm welcome to everyone who's been here multiple times and already knows a few people I've met in person, and also to people who are completely new, and also to anyone who's watching in. If you have like comments from your own thoughts, feel free to put them in the little comments box as well. Oh, more people arriving. Great, there's Ewan. Cool. Anyway, Rich, you're here. A lot of background noise. I just muted you. Sorry. Maybe your microphone needs some love and care. Rich is here with me today in the call as a co-host, which is really awesome. And maybe, Rich, you want to introduce what we're going to get up to today?
Yeah, thanks, Jocelyn. It's really cool to see some familiar faces, some of whom I haven't seen in a long time. That's really rad. So the focus of today is a kind of research project. And next month, like a month from now, we're having a gathering here in Spain. And only a small number of people can be here. And so the digital space is an opportunity for us to expand the circle of who can come together and to draw in some of the collective intelligence from people around the network. And we're trying to build out what I call the skills tree. Like if you've ever played one of those video games where you're like gradually accumulating new skills and new powers, and or like the Boy Scouts or something like that, where you get these little badges which say, I can start a fire in the rain, and I can pitch a tent, and I can shoot a deer from 50 feet. I really want to build out something like that for micro solidarity. So if the end goal is like, I'm just like super competent community host, you can put me in a, like I can run a co-living community, or I could run a 100-person retreat for a week and just be completely at ease. Like, if we say that's the sort of mastery stage, what are all of the component skills that get you from just starting out to being confident there? And when I say starting out, even maybe you don't even really think of yourself as an organizer or as a host, but you're like, I'm actually a bit uneasy with all of this socializing stuff, like I think there's a series of pathways from being isolated to being a community host and like an anchor in a community. And that while we'll all take different paths, I suspect there's some repeatable patterns, and that if we could make a map, it would be easier for people to accelerate their path down that developmental trajectory. So the end result of this is we're going to be producing it's sort of like, I think of it as like the body of knowledge for the micro solidarity network. It's going to the most obvious output of it is going to be a deck of cards that Michal is helping us build. Michal here is the wizard who makes cards for everything. So we're going to have this like micro solidarity card deck. That's the eventual result. And what I have in mind for the card deck is like, anytime you're going into a situation where you're got some hosting responsibility, you can kind of like pull a card and it will give you a good question, or there we go, or a good, a point of focus or a resource or something that you should be thinking about that's going to help you be a better organizer. So that's the destination. And to get there today, what we're going to focus on is like trying to map out where each of us have been in our lives and what have we learned along the way, and just catch like maybe 500, 1,000 post-it notes, a lot of post-it notes. And then over time, we're going to distill that to be something more and more refined. So first thing, it's just a chance to land in a small room with a couple of other people and have a check-in and say, how you doing? And it's just like a few minutes each. So after how are you doing, you might have 1 or 2 minutes to just talk about what types of group experiences do you currently feel comfortable to host. That could be anything from a conversation to a co-living community or something in between. Those breakout rooms are going to be open for like 10 minutes, so you can share the time between you. I'll send you away and see you shortly.
Welcome back. Okay, books are still arriving.
Sometimes there's a little friction in the teleporter.
I think it got unblocked. Here's everybody. Hey, cool, great. Welcome back, folks. We're actually going to go straight into the next question, and you're going to be in a slightly different group for this. So this was like a warm-up question of, you know, what experiences do you feel comfortable to host right now? There'll be some time to share reflections of what came up in your groups towards the end of this exercise. So if you've got something you really want to share, hold on to that, and love to hear it later. But for this next piece, what we're going to do is start mapping a timeline of our hosting journeys. I'll show you a demonstration of my one. Here's one I made earlier. I put it on a mural board. If you're familiar with digital whiteboards, this is our mural board, and I've created a space for everyone to write their own one. I'll show you that in a moment. But if you're not comfortable, you can do this just on pen and paper or on your laptop. We're going to be in pairs, and we're going to ask each other, what was your timeline of hosting? So the question is, what were some significant events, like maybe that you were hosting or where you were being hosted at, that stood out to you as significant, where you sort of learned something or gained an insight about hosting or how you wanted to host? So for me, right back in 2009, I started university in London. I lived at in a co-living university student house, which inspired my sense of like, oh my God, living together. I love that. I assisted some weekend workshops and nonviolent communication gatherings. I was part of an internal family systems crew. That was also like the deepest crew and a big crew experience. I learned a lot from that. And then this is a quite significant one. I hosted the open space technology introduction at the first Microsolidarity gathering in Belgium in 2022, which Rich was sort of mentored me into it. And right now, from this point of view, it seems like something very small, but that was a really transformational moment for me, being like, oh, wow, I can stand in front of a group and host an event or an experience. There are a few more, but you get the point, all the way up to here, where I just ran a 2-month-long pop-up guest house for mutual support for my friends in Spain. And that was, 2 months long without any mentor or person who showed me the way. So it's been a journey from here to here. And so I'm going to invite you guys to do the same thing, be in pairs so you can scribe for each other. There's a whole host of, I think everyone should have one for themselves. And the prompt will be in the chat. So just find yourself, I'll put the link to the mural board in the chat in a moment as well. So you can find yourself a timeline board, and Rich has put the question there. What's your hosting story so far? Name some of the pivotal events, communities, gatherings, group houses, clubs, workshops, retreats, etc., where you were either a helper or a host that gave you a taste of the direction that you want to grow in. And there'll be 7 minutes each, and we'll give you a halfway timer announcement that you'll see at the top. I'll also put a timer on the mural board in case you're using that, so that you'll see how much time you've still got to go. All right, any questions before we open the breakout rooms? Uwe, yeah?
Can you, like, I think I can't focus right now. There's a party next door, and I think I have to quit this call because it's just like so distracting. I'm in Tunisia right now, and like, so I think I have to drop out. I'm so pissed about the neighbor.
Maybe it's
I guess I'll see you next time.
Sorry to hear that, Uwe. See you next time. And feel free to fill it in on the mural board if you want to anyway. You can also do it with anyone if you want to.
All right. Bye, guys.
Take care. Bye. Yeah, if you're listening in, we'll put the mural board link into the YouTube chat comments or whatever description as well, so you can add your timeline piece if you want to. Caleb, you had a question.
Yeah, just to clarify, are we doing this on our own or with others live?
With someone else. Yeah, you'll be in a dyad, so you'll be sharing it out loud, and the other person will be your scribe, and so they'll put one event on one sticky note. If you prefer not to have it visible, you can also just say that you'd rather not do it on there. Have your scribe write on there in a Google Doc or something and send it to you.
Oh, what's the color coding for the stickies? Does the
I will get to that. There are 3 steps to this.
Okay.
So for now, just look at the yellow stickies. They're the ones with the timeline sticky notes. Yeah. Any other questions? Oh, which is also going to go. Okay. No? Okay. Then, yeah, Rich, if you want to open the breakout rooms, and I'll set the timer.
Hey, Jocelyn, do we have time to hear a little popcorning, or should I just keep us moving?
I think we have time for hearing like 2 or 3 voices.
Can someone give me just a little sample of like how was your breakout? Pietro, 2 thumbs up.
I had really good time hearing Michael's stories about hosting a lot.
Oh yeah, Michał has hosted 65 million things, so I'm sure his timeline is like this long.
Yeah.
More post-it notes than everybody else.
That's great. Okay, I'm going to keep us moving. Just gives me the satisfaction that at least something is happening in those rooms that I can't see into. So the next step of the process, and maybe I'll share my screen and show you the demo again, because I think that's useful. The next step is just to look at, there's a couple of those, maybe 2 or 3 of those that stand out as being particularly like a strong learning experience. So Jocelyn prepped hers early. Basically, we want you to identify where are 3 that you learned the most and spend a few minutes talking about what did you learn. So we want to pull out like, at least in my experience, when I host something that's really stretching me, that's like at the edge of my capacity, at the end of it, when I'm like, whoof, we got that done, there was some really specific concrete thing that I needed to update. I had to upgrade. I had to like install a new module, go clink. Oh, I got you. So maybe you want to tell us about one of these, Jocelyn. Is there one of them that stands out as being particularly relevant of these 3?
Yeah, I mean, I mentioned the micro-solidarity gathering, hosting the open space. And I think something that I discovered there was like, it's important for me to find my growth zone and not the freak out zone when I'm hosting. So it's really good that I had like the right mentor, which was Rich, who was like competent and done that many times before, to like, he gave me the principles and he was there to back me up in case I dropped the ball. It made it kind of safe to fail. So I really learned this principle of like safe to fail, find my growth zone.
And not freaking out. This is good reminder, because right now I'm in my growth zone and I'm not freaking out, but I could imagine, I can remember what freaking out's like. So we just want you to go back out into the same breakout rooms with the person you've already been talking to. Choose 2 or 3 of those events or crews or houses or whatever, those post-it notes that are particularly relevant, and tell the story to the other person about what you learned and see if you can distill it down to a key principle that, like, see if you can get it to fit. Though it's really up to the interviewer to do this process of synthesis, to try and distill what you're saying into like one post-it note lesson. So as an interviewer, you're like the journalist that's getting to the bottom of the story. There's the instructions in the chat room. And you basically have 10 minutes each. Is that clear? Very good. All right. I'll send you back out and we will see you soon. Caleb, do you have something? You're good.
Hello again, everybody.
Welcome back. So nice of you to join us. Jocelyn and I have just been sitting in silence for the last 20 minutes.
Yeah, right.
As if brainstorming the next move.
How do I go back? Oh, here. Yes.
You're back.
Can
Good,
I have
thank you.
a quick popcorn?
Go for it.
Yeah, just want to say it was so great speaking with Ronen, and like I feel like how much he embodies the flow state really also helps me put me more in flow as well. So yeah, it's really beautiful. I'm so glad that I came for today's thing. Yeah.
That's really great to hear. Thanks, yeah. Yeah, I'm curious to hear any reflections, either like that one of like, how did it feel being in the breakout room, or more on the concrete content level, like what did you hear that caught your attention? Tell us about it.
Okay, if no one's going, I'll say something. I enjoyed very much talking to Jesse. Initially, I felt a little overwhelmed by the particular question. I had not expected to get into it at this concrete level, but yeah, I enjoyed it very much.
Was there anything that he said that struck you?
Anything? Yes, and also he kind of helped me to come up with stuff that struck myself as well, or yeah, I thought it was inspiring talking about trust. If you give trust to people, then they're more likely to be actually trustworthy. And in this particular community, well, not just here in this particular community, but that's a big thing, the trust thing. Yeah.
Yeah, we had a principal in Spiral, which was one of the first communities I was involved in, and they always said, if you want people to behave like adults, treat them like adults.
In the big world, that doesn't always happen. I mean, not sure how you want to call it that world, but yes, I totally agree.
Who else has got something to share from their breakout room?
I was
Jamie's first.
okay. I was inspired by Pietro's audacity. He was talking about cooking for the Microsolidarity camp, and a couple of the perspectives like, oh, why couldn't I do this? And then if I make a mistake or if it fails on my watch, well, anybody else could have made the mistake or could have failed on their watch. And those were inspiring to me. I'll have Pietro's voice talking to me sometimes now.
I love that.
I think I looked at things over sort of the last 30 years. I came up with examples, and then I realized that the common theme was that I always think that I don't know what I'm doing, and I end up realizing that I know that I do better than I thought I would, or that I don't have to defer so much to other people, imagining that they actually know what they're doing. So I don't know why I don't get that, or I keep having to bump into that lesson over and over again. And then that it's okay for me to take more space, which I still don't know if I can, but I need to take more space in myself and less space outside of myself. I'm managing too many spaces there. I need just the spaces in here, not out there. There's too much compensation for the lack of inner space. Actually, I just got that now. That's good. All right.
Awesome.
I don't need 120 acres. I just need a little like space inside myself, you know.
Oh.
That's a nice one.
Anyone else want to share any insights or skills, capacities that you notice you picked up along the way?
Well, in our room, we discussed and resonated with each other that letting go the control is a hard thing to do, but that kind of works. Just to allow fluid scheduling and just trusting the process.
Also, at a certain point in your hosting journey, you have to learn when to let go. Yeah.
And it's both.
I'm curious. Yeah.
It's
What were you
both.
gonna say?
They're terrifying to let go, and that's also the place where magic happens.
Yeah, I feel like I'm right on the knife edge of this one at the moment. Like, we've just taken on this big house. We've rented it for a year. It's like an enormous opportunity, this 10-bedroom villa in Spain. We don't really have a plan. The plan is we have to repay the loan at the end of the year. So we better do something. But I don't have a plan. And I like my most of what's going on inside of me is this thing that Ewan was saying, that Didzis is saying, like, don't control, trust that you know what needs to happen, let it unfold, let it emerge at its own pace. But there's another voice that says, yeah, you have to make a plan. Like, you have to have a good invitation. You have to think about what people need and what's going to be exciting for them to come here. And you have to think about the business model because no one else is going to do it. And both of those things are true, right? And I don't actually know which voice I should be listening to from one day to the next. And maybe I just keep oscillating back and forth between them. I'm not sure.
I find this topic super fascinating because there's somewhere to let go, and I think what I'm learning right now is like where to actually be more strict, where to be more tight. Like with the incubator, we actually did a very tight invitation, very specific about what we're doing, and it was like invite only, and I was like the tightest kind of like invitation I created, but at the same time like the most hands off and letting go when we're actually hosting the whole thing for 2 months. So it was like they go together hand in hand. Like finding the when to let go and when to hold the edges and create the space with your own power and bringing your own vision. Yeah, bringing the thing that you know in your bones that this gathering or this event needs for it to be a success. Yeah.
I had this insight when I was talking with Yeva and didn't really put it there on the post-it, but she asked about my sailing trip that I did to Antarctica and what was the learning there. And what I shared is that actually in terms of hosting, I didn't learn so much, like there were much more powerful insights. But in terms of organizing, like the nitty-gritty spreadsheets and like what happens before the event, it was ridiculously complicated and like pushing the growth to the max just because of the sizes of money that we're talking about. So kind of feeling maybe like rich in that sense, like, fuck, I'm renting a ship that goes to the end of the world and now I need to fill it with people. What? But then actually the trip was super easy, it was so chilled. Like I barely did, I mean, I did things, but it was just like the magic was just full on. Easy peasy, lemon squeezy. So yeah, it's a nice two voices.
I can tell you, Michal, the easy peasy lemon squeezy even hits better with a Polish accent. I'm going to move us on to the next piece of the puzzle, unless there's one last comment that someone is really urgently want to share with us. Okay, the last thing. We've just talked about the past and what you've learned, and we wanted to give you a couple of minutes to think about the future. So based on your reflections on your own story and hearing other people's stories and starting to connect the dots, do you start to get a feel for like, there's something like, are you suddenly realizing, gosh, I need to book a boat and sail to Antarctica? Or is there some specific skill or a competency or a vision or a, like, even maybe a dimension that you want to grow in? You know, like, oh, I would like to just take on things that have a bigger budget, that's more capacity in that range or something like that. And you can take a couple of minutes just quietly thinking about that, maybe write in your journal.
Oh, whoops. I posted the prompt as well.
Oh, there's a pink post-it note on the mural. Yeah, Jocelyn knows
Indeed.
what's going on. And while you think about that, I'm going to play my new favorite song of the week because it'll take a couple of minutes and it's just the right amount of time. I hope you like that tune as much as I did. It's a really great band. Moses Yuffie Trio. It's really epic seeing these post-it notes coming in on the mural. I hope you realize that the point of this network is these are the people that can help you reach those goals. We're here to help each other learn how to do this stuff. You're in the right place, and no one knows how to do it, but we can think about it together, and we can give you encouragement in the unknowable path. Jocelyn, you've got some wrapping up thoughts for us, eh?
Yes. It's actually more like network updates and few announcements. So it's a bit of a gear shift from self-reflection, and but maybe there's some overlap, because one question we could have continued with this, and we could have asked, like, who's someone that could support you to develop that capacity or get to that next stage, do that next, like, grow your comfort zone of hosting or facilitating. And as Rich said, that's really like what the network's for. And one way of asking for that and reaching out is we have a Telegram group, and it's kind of new since December, but it seems to be really popping off. There's a lot of people there reaching out for like crews and inviting people to in-person like regional events, but also just online stuff. So, and you're very welcome to join that. I think we should put the link in the chat, or if you could. There's just one condition for joining, which is that you introduce yourself, because it's a bit like going into a I say it's like joining a house party, where if you imagine being someone's +1, when you arrive, you want to say hi to people who are there, because a lot of people in that group already know each other. So when someone new comes in, it's like, oh, who's joined the party? And it helps people to match offers and requests. Maybe if you say what you're up to or what your goal is, there might be someone who's able to like help you out in exactly that path, or someone who has the same vision or the same dream, and you can help each other out. So please do feel so warmly invited to join there. And if you want to set up a regional group thread, if you've got a bunch of people in your country or city, just let me know, and you'll see, or you can post in general chat, and I can see about creating that for you. There's also the newsletter, which is a great way to hear what else is going on with the network. I just posted a newsletter today. It's quite a chunky one because we haven't posted one in a couple of months. So, for example, Caleb's put a piece there about visioning for like how you finance community builders. Michal, you're talking about all the amount of work that goes into like the admin and setting up spaces, and it looks effortless when you start, or it can do. But there's a lot of invisible work. So there's like really cool piece around how do we honor the role of community builders and the importance of that. And there's invitations, and yeah, all kinds of good stuff there. Also, I'll notify you about these network calls in that newsletter from now on. So that's where you'll get an update about what's going to happen in the next network call. We'll post the newsletters at the end of each month, for the last Friday of the month. Rich, you kind of done a pitch already about El Tilo, but if you want to, do you want to like say anything more about the invitation for that?
Sure. Yes, this week we moved into this great big house in Spain. That's the house down here. This is our neighborhood. It's all forest. It's really lovely. It's like 45 kilometers outside of Barcelona. Big 10-bedroom villa. Tilo tree here, which we're going to have lovely dinners underneath down there. Yeah, this is from my perspective, it's like the home of micro solidarity. It's going to be a place for all kinds of events, potentially including your events. If you want to host something here, be in touch with me. And also, we are going to host basically 1 week out of every month is going to be a space where we kind of open doors and invite you to come and stay with us. And you'll get to meet people like you've met on the call today, and just enjoy some co-living, very lightly facilitated, focused on connecting with each other and co-working if you've got projects you're doing online, and communing with the trees and the musical instruments and the kitchen and that sort of thing. We have a website. I'll drop it in there in 1 second. Yeah, we'd love you to come and visit. It's really, really come. It's great. The people here are awesome. The place is awesome. It's delicious.
Thanks, Rich. Yeah, and we mentioned that there will be a gathering there in May for like putting together this card deck, and we'll bring in some of the input from what you've all come up with today. And there are still, it has been invite only because we were looking for people who had a bit more experienced in the network, or people who are network adjacent and would have some really good questions to help us flesh out the micro solidarity skills tree. But if you feel like you should be there and we've looked over you for an invitation, there's still a couple more spots, so you can just reach out to microsolidarity@gmail.com and let us know that you'd like to be considered, and then we can have a chat. Yeah, the next call of these calls will be on the first Thursday of May, so that's actually 1st of May at the same time, and same Zoom link. If you're not already a member of Open Collective and not a member yet there, then you probably won't have the link. But if you sign up, I'll put the link to sign up below the YouTube video when we post this one, and in the Spotify thingy. Then you can join these calls for just €3 a month. There are some exciting new updates. We're going to create a few more tiers of becoming a member of Micro Solidarity that will give you some more opportunities for more intentional connection, mutual support. But that will probably be an update coming like next month or so. I'm still working on that. I think that's it for today. Yeah, we still got 3 minutes, so I wonder if anyone wants to unmute themselves and share anything else, like how you're leaving the call, what you're taking with you. You can just unmute yourself and speak into the space.
Nourished. Thank you.
What did you say, Amy?
Nourished.
Nourished.
Thank
Beautiful.
you.
Glad to hear you feel nourished. Yeah. Let's do it around, just everyone saying one word, how you're leaving. Amy, do you want to choose the next person? We're going to do this in 2 minutes. It's going to be rapid fire.
Jamie.
Jamie.
Excited. Caleb.
I'm inspired. Pietro.
I feel these breakout rooms, they always energize me and make me happy. Jesse.
Warm and fuzzy. Jocelyn.
Also excited. Titus.
Connected. Jan.
Feel my heart like that. Yeah. Rich.
Rich.
I feel recommitted to the path of not knowing what I'm doing. Eva.
Also inspired and empowered to do things. Walter.
I got a first taste and a first glimpse, and I was very happy to be here. And yeah, thank you very much for having me.
Name the next person.
Yeah. Oh, is there anyone left?
Honen.
There you go.
Grateful.
Beautiful. Thanks, everyone. It's been really great having you all here. See you all next
Oh, I just
time.
wanted to say one more thing.
Yeah.
So I think there was in the newsletter, I don't know, I didn't read it, but on the sheet for the newsletter, someone suggested doing like videos about the core principles of microsolidarity. And I have set up a meeting with him. So if anyone also is interested in doing this, just contact me. I'm in the Telegram channel or in the Discord or wherever.
Cool. Thanks, Pietro.